Recently, one up-and-coming hobby has been growing in attention over the internet. Keyboards. But not just any keyboards, custom mechanical keyboards. When you think of mechanical keyboards, you may think of a variety of things, most likely how loud they are. But there's actually quite a lot to them. From different types of switches, the keycaps, cases, plates, RGB, minimal, clicky, quiet, smooth, tactile, there is so much differentiation in this niche hobby. But what is a mechanical keyboard? Mechanical keyboards are defined by their use of a physical switch within the keys. There are 4 parts to every switch: the stem, the upper housing, the lower housing, and the spring. When put together, it creates a variety of satisfying sounds that appeal to every kind of typer. Some will even put in the extra effort to modify these switches by lubing to make it smoother and adding film to the housing. There are also 3 different types of switches that they get sorted into. Linears have a smooth feel with a loud click. Tactiles have a feedback bump and a quieter sound. And clickies, well, they're loud and tactile and the bane of your neighbor's existence. However, there are quite literally thousands of switches that you can buy online to appeal to your exact taste, from premium brands that only do group buys to cheap knockoff Chinese brands. That's why the custom community has so much appeal. If you have the patience, combined with the willingness to drain your bank account, you can get the perfect keyboard tailored just for you. Once you get beyond the switches, there are tons of other parts to the keyboard to customize. In order to make a keyboard, you need a case, a PCB, which is what everything plugs into, the switches, the stabilizers, the plate it mounts to, and finally the keycaps. After all that, you now have a keyboard. Yay! All of these different parts add to the exclusivity and uniqueness of the keyboard that you build, adding to the core theme of the hobby: customizability. Building your keyboard, not someone manufactured in a warehouse that everybody else has, but the perfect typing experience just for you. And the more custom and exclusive you go, the more it's going to cost you. But that doesn't mean you have to sell a limb for a nice new keyboard. If you're willing to have more standard parts, and possibly a less flashy keyboard tailored less to you, you can always buy parts manufactured normally outside of group buys and go looking on the cheap end. At the end of the day, it's just about enjoying the typing experience. But why would anybody spend the time and money to have a custom keyboard when I can get one for $15 off Amazon? It types the same and achieves the end goal, right? Well, I think one keyboard influencer, Taiha Types, makes a really good argument for that.
To most, keyboards are thought of as uninteresting tools simply meant to get our tasks done. But that's precisely why I think people should care about their keyboards. So much of our daily activities rely on them. If we think about it, a lot of us spend as much time, if not more, in front of a computer on a keyboard as we do on our smartphone or other everyday tech. So why shouldn't we invest in something that we use so often?
Functionally, a $200 phone should do you just as well as a $1,000 phone when it comes to listening to music, taking photos, texting, and scrolling through social media. It's basic tasks. But so many of us still buy or want to buy the latest and greatest phone companies have to offer. Why? Because just because a product mechanically performs the task as well as others doesn't mean the experience can't be improved upon. Going back to the cell phone analogy, your experience performing those tasks is going to be much more enjoyable on a more premium phone. It's just about whether it's worth it for you. Nowadays especially, we use keyboards a lot. And I mean a lot. We write our papers on them, chat with friends on them, Google things on them, code on them, work on them, and basically any task with a computer involved. Why not have that experience be enjoyable instead of just functional? Why not be satisfied with every click instead of just complacent that it typed the character you wanted? It's the same reason people pay more for alcohol, cars, phones, and houses, because why not enjoy the experience more? This philosophy is certainly taking root amongst more and more people online. If you look at the growth of interest in the hobby over just the span of 2020, you'd see. With more people working at home on their old beat-up keyboards, some of them started to realize that the experience could be more than just functional, it could be fun. From January 1st, 2020 to January 1st of 2021, The subreddit, which is an online forum for mechanical keyboards, rose from 487,000 members to 797,000. That's roughly 300,000 new people indoctrinated into the hobby in 1 year. That's about 3/5 growth. Very quickly, this hobby is moving from niche to mainstream, much like the custom PC community. Soon, the idea of making your own mechanical keyboard may become a lot more real than you think, and I for one couldn't be happier. It's a really cool hobby with a great community filled with smart and dedicated people who are willing to help you with any problem you may have, just because they're interested. Now I get it. Most people don't think twice about their keyboard because all they care is that it works, and talking to them about improving the experience is basically meaningless. And that's fine. Not everybody has to want to spend more on a keyboard, the same way not everyone has to want to spend more on a new phone. To each his own. But if you think that enjoying the experience of typing and customizing your own keyboard sounds kinda interesting, why not take the plunge? Who knows? You may just find yourself a new hobby.